a 4-year-old girl counting to 10. A family picnic in the Montana wilderness. And then, she was gone. But here's what will haunt you. Someone has been watching you read this right now. Just like someone was watching little Nyleen that summer day in 1983. The letters that arrived afterward weren't just cruel, they were impossible. And what they revealed about her disappearance will make you question everything you think you know about the woods behind your house. I'm about to tell you why the Nyleen Kay Marshall case is the most terrifying unsolved mystery in American history, and why after hearing this, you'll never let your children play hide-and-seek again. Before we dive into this nightmare, I need you to do something. Look around your room right now. Notice the windows, the doors, the spaces where shadows gather. Remember this feeling of safety, because by the end of this video, that feeling will be gone forever. June 25th, 1983. The sun was high over the Helena National Forest in Montana. It was supposed to be a perfect day, the kind of childhood memory that lasts a lifetime. The Marshall family had driven to Salmon Lake, a remote picnic area surrounded by towering pines and pristine wilderness. Crystal clear water, fresh mountain air, and the laughter of children echoing through the trees. 4-year-old Nyleen Kay Marshall was wearing a striped shirt, blue pants, and white sneakers. She had blonde hair and bright, curious eyes that sparkled with excitement. This was an adventure, and like most 4-year-olds, Nyleen lived for adventures. The adults were preparing lunch while the children played. Someone suggested hide-and-seek. It was innocent. It was normal. It was the kind of game children have played for generations. Nyleen was thrilled. She loved hiding, loved the excitement of being found, loved the squeals of laughter when someone discovered her secret spot. 1, 2, 3. The counting began. Nyleen ran toward the parking lot area, her little legs carrying her between the trees and parked cars. Several witnesses, family members, and other picnickers saw her playing near the edge of the recreational area. She was giggling. She was fine. And then, she wasn't there anymore. At first, nobody panicked. Hide and seek, right? She was just really good at hiding this time. They called her name. "Nyleen, game's over! Time for lunch!" The forest swallowed their voices. They checked behind trees, under picnic tables, inside cars. Their calls became more urgent. Nyleen, Nyleen. Minutes turned into an hour. An hour turned into a nightmare. By the time authorities arrived, the sun was beginning its descent toward the Montana peaks. Search and rescue teams mobilized immediately. This was their worst-case scenario. A small child alone in one of the most unforgiving wilderness areas in the United States. The Helena National Forest spans over 900,000 acres of rugged terrain, dense vegetation, hidden ravines, and wildlife that includes mountain lions and bears. Over 200 volunteers combed through the forest. They brought tracking dogs, helicopters, and thermal imaging equipment. They searched in grids, leaving no stone unturned, no bush unchecked. The dogs picked up Nyleen's scent near the parking lot, and then nothing. The trail went cold in a way that made even experienced trackers uneasy. How does a 4-year-old simply vanish? Children don't cover their tracks. They don't know how to evade search dogs. They cry, they wander in circles, they leave signs. But Nyleen left nothing. For days the search continued. The media descended on this small Montana community. Nyleen's face appeared on newspapers and television screens across America. Her parents made tearful pleas. The forest gave up no secrets. And then the letters started arriving. The first one came to the Madison County Sheriff's Office. No return address, postmarked from the area. Inside was a message that made investigators' blood run cold. The writer claimed to have taken Nyleen. They described a man in a blue jogging suit. They provided details about the picnic area that only someone who had been there would know. But here's what's truly terrifying. The letter included information about Nyleen's behavior that day, things that hadn't been released to the public, intimate details about her final moments of freedom. Someone had been watching. Someone had been waiting. Over the following months and years, more communications arrived. Phone calls to the family home. Letters with cryptic messages. Each one seemed designed to torment, to give just enough hope while providing nothing concrete. The caller claimed Nyleen was alive, that she was being cared for, that she had been chosen. Chosen. Think about that word. What kind of person chooses a 4-year-old child from a crowded picnic area in broad daylight? Witnesses were re-interviewed. Several people reported seeing a man in a blue jogging suit that day at Salmon Lake. He had been noticed because he seemed out of place overdressed for the weather, watching the children with unusual intensity. But in the chaos of the initial search, this detail had been lost. By the time investigators wanted to speak with him, he had vanished as completely as Nyleen. The FBI joined the investigation. They analyzed the letters, traced the phone calls, built psychological profiles. The communication suggested someone with knowledge of the area, someone who had planned this abduction with terrifying precision. This wasn't opportunistic. This was calculated. But here's where the story takes an even darker turn. Years later, a woman came forward claiming she had been at Salmon Lake that day. She had been in the parking lot with her own children when she saw a little blonde girl matching Nyleen's description, walking hand in hand with a man in blue athletic clothing. The girl wasn't crying. She wasn't struggling. She walked willingly, as if she trusted him. The woman hadn't thought anything of it at the time. Why would she? It looked like a father and daughter. It looked normal. But that image haunted her for decades until she finally contacted authorities. How had this predator gained Nyleen's trust so quickly? 4-year-olds are typically wary of strangers. They don't simply walk away from family, from safety, from the sound of their loved ones calling their name. Unless they've been groomed. Unless someone had been watching this family for days, weeks, maybe months, learning their patterns, waiting for the perfect opportunity. Perhaps he'd even interacted with Nyleen before, during a previous visit to the area, establishing himself as someone safe, someone friendly. The investigation revealed something chilling. There had been other incidents in the region. Children reporting a friendly man in jogging clothes who tried to lure them away. Families who felt watched during camping trips. A pattern of near misses that all pointed to a predator hunting in the wilderness. Decades passed. The letters stopped. The phone calls ended. The case went cold in official terms. But it never grew cold for Nyleen's family. Her mother, Nancy, never stopped searching, never stopped hoping. Every blonde-haired woman of the right age became a possibility. Every lead, no matter how faint, was pursued. In 2016, there was a potential break. A woman contacted authorities claiming she might be Nyleen. She had fragmented childhood memories of being taken of a different life before the one she knew. DNA tests were conducted with desperate hope. The results were negative. Today, Nyleen would be in her mid-40s. She could be anywhere. She could be anywhere. If she's alive, does she know who she really is? Does she remember that sunny day in June when she was playing hide-and-seek? Does she remember her real family? Or was she taken by someone who erased that little girl completely, replacing her memories with lies, raising her as their own stolen prize? The Helena National Forest is still there. Families still picnic at Salmon Lake. Children still play hide-and-seek among the trees. But locals remember. They watch their children more carefully now. They understand that monsters don't just hide in dark alleys and urban nightmares. They hide in plain sight, in beautiful places, wearing jogging suits and friendly smiles. The Nyleen Kay Marshall case remains officially open. The FBI still accepts tips. Somewhere in their files are those letters, those recordings of phone calls, analyzed and reanalyzed for any clue that might finally bring this child home. But here's the truly horrifying truth. This case represents every parent's worst nightmare because it's so devastatingly simple. One moment of distraction, one game of hide-and-seek, one predator who had been patiently waiting for his opportunity. Nyleen didn't wander off and get lost. She didn't have an accident. She was taken, deliberately and methodically, by someone who had planned every detail. And then she vanished into a void so complete that 40 years of searching has produced almost nothing. Think about the last time you were in a park, a campground, anywhere public with children. Did you notice everyone around you? Could you describe them now? That person sitting alone on the bench? Were they just enjoying nature? Or were they watching, waiting, choosing? The man in the blue jogging suit was never identified. He was never caught, which means unless he's dead, he's still out there. And Nyleen's case might not have been his only success. So tonight, when you're lying in bed in the dark, Remember this, somewhere out there, Nyleen Kay Marshall's fate remains unknown. A little girl who just wanted to play hide and seek found the perfect hiding spot, one so perfect that 40 years later, no one has found her yet. And somewhere, the person who took her knows exactly where she is. If you have any information about the disappearance of Nyleen Kay Marshall, please contact the FBI or the Madison County Sheriff's Office in Montana. Every tip matters. Every piece of information could be the one that finally brings her home. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Next week, I'll be covering another case that will make you question everything you think you know about the people around you. Stay safe out there. And remember, sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones we never see coming.